Hello, welcome back to the channel. So each of us got into Smite in our own separate, special ways. I know a lot of people watched Rooster Teeth back in the day. I know a lot of people watched Germa and Star play. I'm pretty sure JonTron even made a video about Smite at one point.
So you want to be a professional Smite player? I hear you, I heard you. Celestial Beam!
That's a bit surreal to watch, but the point is that we all had different routes into Smite, and weirdly I remember the exact video that was my first exposure to Smite back in 2013. This video was on a channel called Force Strategy Gaming, who you may have heard of, is a pretty big channel, and the video was the big reveal of Poseidon being released, which is very weird to say because he is, you know, pretty much a staple of the game now, but there was once a time where he was the hot new thing, and that video of him being released was the first bit of Smite that I ever saw. So it was a pretty big deal at the time actually. It currently sits at roughly 700,000 views, which is pretty bonkers. So out of interest, or more accurately out of sheer boredom, recently I thought, you know, let's go check it out and see how much Smite has changed, and it just happened that it was almost exactly 8 years to the day since it was released. So I thought it might be fun to go back and see how much Smite has changed, and I think having seen it, it's fair to say that it's pretty different. The link to the video is in the description if you're interested. He's got a whole series of those videos which are a great sort of time capsule into what Smite was like back then. So if you want to go check that out, feel free, but otherwise, over to old Dan. So I haven't watched this video since the very first time I watched it, so back 8 years ago now. In fact, wait a minute, how close is it to the... It's almost exactly the 8-year anniversary. So yeah, a bit of a trip down memory lane. Alright, so straight off the bat, I love the old school 2013 style intros. You just don't get those anymore.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here.
Wow, okay, there's already so much to say in the first like 2 seconds. So the first thing you might notice is that the game looks totally fucking unrecognizable to what you're used to today. So straight off the bat, like, you've got this huge fucking great throne room. The Titan room used to be massive back in the day, and I kind of miss it. These huge like halls. I mean, it made it really weird using any sort of global abilities like Apollo ult and stuff like that, because some of the pillars you could fly through, some of them you couldn't, and you couldn't really see what you were doing a lot of the time. But I like the kind of how tall it felt. And you may also notice this big bastard here in the middle. If for those that are newer to the game, you might notice that, you know, all of these things like attack the fire giant is VAF, attack the gold fury is VAG, because it's, you know, fire is F, gold is G, but attack the titan, which you think would be VAT, is actually VAM, which might seem a bit odd, but back in the day we didn't have a titan, we had this chunky bastard who was a minotaur, don't know how you say it, functionally the same as a titan, unfortunate casualty of the updating to the titans at the end, but yeah, he lives on with VAM, that's his legacy. And one of the other things I want to point out is that if I play on a little bit,
With some
you'll see how cell
Smite
shaded it looks. It looks more like Borderlands than Smite. This is kind of a look that was only really around in the first few... God, it really wasn't around for long in the game. Once we changed maps off of this map, it was gone to the style that you're more used to today. So just an interesting art style. I don't hate it actually. I think it holds up quite well. The rest of the UI though, the rest of the UI looks like shit. But I love it. I love the charm, like this, like the game timer being this janky little thing over here, and your stats being up here, and they weren't exactly clear. Like anvil, even now I don't really know what that means. But yeah, just a bit odd. And then you've got some old classic. In fact, I think all of these avatars have been updated since. Kali's especially looks horrific, but this is when Kali was a totally different god. Yeah, I'll let them play on.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with some more Smite gameplay. Today I'll be playing as the new god Poseidon, and
how weird is it hearing someone say the new god Poseidon?
Anyways, let's start off by...
So straight into it with the store. It's true. The number 2 recommended item is meditation. Things never change. So back in the day, the store as you know it was a very different place. So you know how when you're playing a physical god, you can only buy physical items? Well, that wasn't always the case. Back here, you can't see it on this screen, but back in the day, the whole item shop was the exact same no matter who you were. And it meant that you could get some pretty janky shit. Thor building Gem of Isolation so you couldn't escape the Berserker Barrage and stuff like that. I mean, no one did it, but just occasionally you'd see people start, like, you know, they have their first few games, and you'd see them building magic items on a physical god. And it was one of those moments where it was like, you know, why is this a thing? And funnily enough, I think it speaks to how much people hate change. There was a bit of a minor uproar when they actually removed physical items from magical gods. Like, people were like, what? No, leave the shop how it is. But I think it's worth it to stop new players from building items that literally do nothing for them. And the other thing to point out, maybe he'll show it in a second, but up here it says view stats. Back in the day, if you had enough gold, you could literally just buy stats. Like, not buying items that give you stats, you could just buy stats. So you're thinking, oh, this build doesn't have quite enough attack speed, just buy some attack speed. I remember it being quite inefficient, so it was really kind of only a late game once you've gotten all your items sort of thing, but still, it's surreal. Imagine that now. Oh yeah, this build is good, but doesn't have enough crit. Well, just buy something. But yeah, isn't it funny seeing stuff like Warlock Sash is still there, and still kind of, it's had a few changes, but it's still basically the same thing. Stacks to give you health and power, Spear reducing magical protection. It's all basically the same.
It is magical damage, and Poseidon's got a pretty interesting mechanic. Let's go ahead and talk about that. You know what, let me go left-hand lane.
I just want to quickly point out the map. My camera's a bit in the way, but you've currently got what's shaping up to be, I think, Neath Poseidon duo lane on her, or Kali in the mid lane with Hades on the right. So back in these days, I think this was still the time when Bumba's Mask wasn't in the game, so jungling wasn't a thing. You just had 2 lanes of 2 and 1 lane of 1 in the middle. So double duo lane, no junglers. Strange time. Imagine just not having a jungler. Bumba's Mask wasn't updated for a pretty long time into it after this point. I reckon for another few, like 6 months at least at this point. So gods like Kali just played in the duo lane for a while, which is a bit surreal to think about.
All right, so starting off with the passive, Poseidon's passive is...
Look at those, look at the textures on those trees. God, this is, I'd like to point out that this is 1080p. This is as high quality as this video goes. And it's also making me laugh that he's talking about the pretty interesting, complicated mechanic of Poseidon's tidal surge, whereas now we've got gods being released by Clumsy, where it's like, where literally one of his abilities is more complex than Poseidon's entire kit. And I've just seen something which I really hope you get to see in better detail, but this down here is what the old Kraken used to look like. It was fucking ugly, hideous looking. You can kind of see it there. Like, it looks like Attack on Titan, like knockoff.
Tides, my basic attacks are going to increase my tide meter, and it just kind of scales up, basically, is how I'm assuming, anyways. I'm assuming it's how it works.
So one thing I want to make clear before we go on is that in this time of Smite, no one knew what the fuck was going on. Like, I can't explain to you how little people knew about the game, and you're probably going to see some serious jank going on because nobody knew how to play. No one knew it was the right thing. I remember watching this gameplay, and he had a few other ones playing like Zeus and whatever, and I remember thinking, he is amazing. People were commenting like, wow, you're so good for someone who's not played it that much. Like, how are you so naturally good at this game? And something deep down tells me that I may not come away with the same impression now. No one knew what the fuck was going on. So if you think that everyone is playing like they've never seen the game before, it's because they basically haven't. Also, quick shout out to not being able to see who's even on the other team. You can't even see which gods are there. But deep down in my brain, I feel like I remember there being a Sun Wukong who was Hun Bat's. So Hun Bat's used to be Sun Wukong. I'm explaining this really badly, but Sun Wukong became Hun Bat's, and then a new Sun Wukong was added, which is the Sun Wukong that you know today. And I seem to remember him like roughing him up a bit. That's just my like distant brain cells whispering to me.
I also get increased movement speed. Using this decreases my tide by 35%.
I still just can't get over these fucking ugly tree textures. They look like giant girthy bollocks.
And lastly, Whirlpool, area of effect, slow. It prevents movement abilities, and
wow,
it also does.
Look at these old harpies. These were a staple of the game. These were around forever, these models, until the kind of newer model that we've got today. Yeah, they're fucking ugly.
Damage over time. And then lastly, my ultimate, Release the Kraken, is, as crazy as it sounds, a giant Kraken comes up from out of the ground.
Pretty crazy.
Multiple waves of damage. I think there are 2 of them, essentially. We don't need to go for that, I don't think. And the center
who
one
needs buffs anyway?
Does extra.
Also, back then, you didn't drop buffs, so whoever killed the buff got it straight away. So it meant lots of awkward times of last hitting when you didn't mean to and stealing people's buffs. And you could also have as many buffs as you wanted, so, you know, you could get pretty juiced up.
Extra damage, and...
So that over there, behind over there, that behind those effects, is Sun Wukong, who you now know as Hun Bat. Yeah, if you ever look at the Shaolin Monkey Hun Bat skin and think those textures look like shit, that's because I'm pretty sure they're the same textures that we used here back in 2013. But just quickly, I want to say one thing I do miss is kind of the cartoony aspect of the Smite. Like these huge attack animations and all of that stuff. I don't know, I quite liked that style, but yeah. Rip. Also, the map is super bloody bright and green. The quality looks terrible, but I like how colourful it is. I'm glad the new map has been a bit more colourful because I was sick of the sort of Season 3 map where it's all just dark green and brown. Like, there's only so much dark green that one man can look at. And also, I massively hate that I think I remember this Hun Bat or Sun Wukong basically giving them a really hard time because it means that I've committed something to memory for 8 years of a random fucking Smite video I watched. Meanwhile, in my like actual job, like editing and shit, I can't remember anything useful. So, yeah.
Stuns and does a knockback. Shoot. That was stupid.
I missed old Sun Wukong sound effects. Proper monkey noises.
Oh my lord, are you serious? Failing to start.
Neith's already back in.
Is already going back here. Oh my lord.
I think Neith used to drop weaves when she backed. Did you see that? I don't remember that. Terrible
start. I have to use a potion. Way too early.
Also, I love how Ymir is literally the exact same god. I mean, like, it's had lots of different changes, but fundamentally it's the same. See someone in lane, walk up, freeze, hit, GG.
Well, so it's pretty cool because I get increased movement speed from my Tide, which is actually really exciting.
The old lane menus were really janky as well because you had the same sort of how it worked as you do now, where you have these kind of little ones and then a big boy at the front, but the big boy was Denton the Brute. I seem to remember his name being, I think he was the Cyclops, or maybe that was the buff caps, I'm getting confused, but anyway, I'm pretty sure he wasn't human, which made it weird that he was out with like these clearly like Roman style soldiers and then you've just got, you know, like a Cyclops. I don't know. Also, a random little quirk that I'm pretty sure was the case, I might be wrong here, so the other kind of old players can correct me, but I'm pretty sure potions back in the day didn't stack. So if you were halfway through a health potion and you used another one, you just lost half a health potion. I don't know why that was ever a mechanic, but yeah, I think it kind of speaks to the spaghetti code that underpins Smite at the time.
So I really hate Ymir tank. Not because he's really good, basically.
Worlds 2021. Nothing's changed.
I think I'm going to focus on leveling up my number 1, because I believe it is the most damage.
Just a quick shout out to the map over here. I can't actually see because my camera's in the way, but yeah, just look at the layout. It's kind of, although how different it is with all the different routes sort of crisscrossing around, fundamentally it's kind of the same, right? Blue buff, I think you used to have blue buffs in both lanes. So that is different, but blue buff in the corner, speed buff around here, or actually, the more I'm saying this, the more it is not the same. Yeah, you used to have red buff where the mid camps kind of are. You see these are both red buffs here, and then Fire Giant was in. You might see it later, but it was in this cave which had like a doorway, and that was it to get in. And fights in there got messy, like really messy. One Hun Bat or Sun Wukong as he actually was at the time, in the middle of there, got you like a pentakill like every time. Although Fire Giant was not nearly as damaging as he is now. I mean, he fucking slaps now, but he was a bit of a pussy back then. I also hope we get to see Gold Fury at some point because she was ugly. If you think the harpies were ugly, she looked like a harpy just greased up in mustard. It looks awful.
The knocks back. Hate that monkey bounce so much.
It used to bounce like between two people all the time and do the same damage each time.
Cool.
So
it's always fun when a new god comes out. People sort of start figuring out how to play it. I had fun wrecking some face with Neith since that last Smite video that I made. It's basically.
I know Neith is not the strongest at the moment, but back at this time she was the fucking bomb. She was like one of the best gods in the game.
Alright, so here's my number 4, and I can show you, notice the 2 waves. So the center one is going to do extra damage, plus knock people up.
There's the old Agni symbol. I think all of these portraits have been redone.
We get enemy missing middle, so we better be careful here.
Back in 2013, he's better eliciting to enemy missing calls than most players in my games today.
Or as full as we can get it.
I can't tell if it's like YouTube's compression or his recording settings, or like frame rate or something, or just the game looking like ass, but oh, it's hurt my eyes. Oh. So I think in a minute we might hear Humbat's or Sun Wukong's ultimate, and it's basically the same as it is now, but instead of a totem, you used to like throw, I think it's like a barrel, like a party barrel. I don't know what the phrase was. And I think it would be a good way of showing how much sort of animations have changed and how much indicators of where things are have changed. Because if I remember correctly, trying to work out like where you were getting feared from was it was pretty hard. I remember the animations being really, maybe it's because I'm quite colorblind, but I remember thinking I don't know what the fuck's going on when they used to hit me back in the day. And I've also just remembered, I didn't even think about this, but yeah, no relics, because back then they were called actives, and they cost gold, and they cost varying amounts of gold. You can upgrade them to different levels, which was a mechanic that lasted for a very long time. I just still kind of miss to this day. I don't mind the new relic system, it's fine. I don't know if I can call it new, as it's been around for longer than this system probably was, but it does mean that early game you've got gods like Humbats and Ymir against Poseidon Neath with no beads, which, as you can imagine, I don't remember precisely what happens, but I think it might be a bit of a bloodbath.
Don't want to use it yet. Not before it's necessary. Plus saving up my mana and all that other fun stuff.
So back then you just saw that effect on the Sun Wukong slam. The game was so much more cartoony back then.
Saving up my mana and all that
like
other
there,
fun stuff.
all of the different like party effects coming off it. I kind of missed that. Nostalgia definitely talking
Maybe
here,
when
but
Neath
I kinda miss
drops
it.
a stun is when we'll go for this here.
The classic Neath Poseidon synergy. Legendary.
Kali is up against Agni in the mid.
What
What we have there.
The timeless matchup. Oh, here it comes.
Almost. And Amir just went jungle. I don't want to call it quite yet, though.
Back then, because there weren't junglers, missing calls were everything. Like, people didn't, as you may have noticed, it's not left the lane like once. You basically only ever left lane to go to like here, and you never really even rotated to the red buff. So calling missing, people being missing, it was like, oh, someone's missing. Oh, shit, the bed.
I'm not sure if he went back. Oh, there he is. He's right there.
Oh, that sneaky little Ymir. No fog of war, I don't think. You can see fucking miles. Oh. Clean
He's all over dodging that. I love it. I love it.
Textbook stuff.
Taking some unnecessary
She's actually a pro
damage
now.
from the range creep. It's just so,
It's not true.
you know, doing that early on is, you know what I mean. So if you're wondering, Forrest, what the heck's going on here? This has been a pretty slow game. Well, we're playing at the higher account here today.
Oh, this is.
I didn't actually have many problems picking up Poseidon. I don't know if people just aren't excited about him, but there hasn't been any instant locking going on or anything. So.
Yeah, this isn't ranked or anything. Ranked literally didn't exist at this point. Ranked didn't exist for a while up to this point, I'm pretty sure. Also, just a note on Snowball. Look at the fucking levels. Carly's got like 2 or 3 kills in mid. She's level 10. Everyone else is level 7. Back then, people talk about Snowball now, but like, if you got a kill, it was... you basically was like, right, game over, you just got so juiced up. Just on old Carly's kit, she used to have like a buff on her 1 that was kind of a bit like Erlang 1 now, but you see like bleedy damage. I don't know, I think it makes you go a tiny bit faster too. Her 2 was basically the same as Vamana's 2, but it like lashed out like that. I think it's called Lash. And if you had her 1 popped, it would make the bleed. Her 3 was actually a pretty cool ability. It did an AoE kind of damage, and if you it took health from people around you. Imagine a kind of hell 3, but you like suck health up from other people. That's like the worst explanation ever. It's kind of interesting that. And then her ult was literally just she'd spin in a circle, CC immune, and do damage, and make the most horrendous like screaming noise while she did it. You might hear it this game, but it was awful. It was like. Wah!
But anyways, the point is that usually at this level, people play pretty cautious. It's a higher league, and
you also couldn't teleport off Sun Wukong 3s, so if you think, why isn't it not blinking in? Didn't exist. Oh, they're cleaning up and right.
So let's see.
I'm pretty sure he's used like 2 abilities this entire game. Oh, here it comes! Oh, he's turned on the jets.
Alright, well.
No, give him vision for the Neath, oh bro.
Wasn't able to get the kill.
I like that he still has not used Whirlpool
Whirlpool
yet. Let's go back and see if we can't see the Kraken. I'm gonna move it along frame by frame. Oh. Oh. Nah, it just looks like a big squid. You can't quite see its face, but it's fucking ugly. And also, no indications for stun, stuff like that. It just has something that says stun. That's all you get.
So I'm gonna be careful. You got to see how it works. I also dropped my 2 down. I was attempting to catch up, but he just left away. So, and they're both sort of low here.
This Carly is popping off. So that Hades just said this combo's too strong. I can't even see who's in the right lane. I know there's a Sobek, but Sobek and who? Who is that? Oh, it's Sobek and Poseidon in the other lane. So, yeah, actually that is pretty strong in a duo lane, right? You know, Tail Whip into Whirlpool, into Kraken, all of that stuff. You can see why,
2 down.
why he's turning on the jets a bit.
And they're both sort of low here. Ugh.
There we go. We are 8 minutes into the game and he's finally used a Whirlpool. For fuck's sake.
Oh, almost.
Back then, that was like the most exciting
Ethan's
thing
going
that can
back.
happen in the
That's
game.
Fine. I'm gonna stay here. Keep my gold going.
Also, the gold gain per second, you may notice, is only getting 2 gold a second, where it's now 3, which over the course of the game I think adds up pretty heavily. And items were so much more expensive back then. Well, actually, I take that back. It's not that items were necessarily much more expensive, but it meant that you were also spending sort of up to 1,800 gold on relics. So you basically just got like no items.
I don't think I want.
Boots were the most expensive thing. Christ.
Aegis.
Boots were the
game.
ones
I think
that
I'm
were
probably
really
just gonna
expensive.
go bead. I don't know. Well, it's because of it's really a mere stun that I'm most worried about. So was able to knock him up there with my ultimate, which is probably
So
what
that
saved
was Humbat's
me.
ultimate
Otherwise-
right there. Why did he not get... Is he CC immune when he casts his Kraken? Also, the fact that he put the Whirlpool at his feet, like back then, that's actually pretty good. So that's what I mean. That
So
that
was
like
able to
those
knock
fireworks
him
and stuff.
up
That's
there with my
Humbat's law.
ultimate, which is probably what saved me.
I don't know
Otherwise,
why
I
he
think
didn't
I may
get
have
feared.
died there.
Sun Wukong
Slow him
was
up a
busted
bit.
back then. Probably him and Ymir probably the best gods in the game this
Then
time.
I really want to
Sobek
know
on her
what
as well.
the prevent
Beast.
movement abilities.
Carly got a lot of
precisely
play as
entails.
well.
Please don't stand close to me when the monkeys are coming. So, little pro tip.
A sentence that out of
Monkey
context sounds
man's
very
hitting
weird.
you with that multiple pronged attack. Enemy missing middle. I probably got to back up.
So he's just backing now for the first time 9 minutes into the game. This is what I mean about the lane stuff. Also, look how long these lanes are.
Oh no.
These,
Is she gonna die here?
these
Please
lanes are
don't die.
fucking huge. Oh, I see an Agni. I see an Agni.
Please don't die. Alright, I'm gonna go. Let's see here.
Oh, we just had a quick glimpse. Also, how many of these items are the exact same? Wall of Absolution, this is basically just like your kind of Jade Helm tree, but look, here, Doom Orb, one of the old late great items of Smite. That and Heartseeker used to have very different effects. They used to basically stack like a normal stacking item. They were really cheap, as you can see, literally like 1900, and they would give you shit loads of power, but you lost literally all of your stacks when you died. These were around for a very, very long time, so they're, I think they kind of basically got considered a bit too volatile. They were either really good and everyone was buying it, or literally nobody was touching it. Because after a while, they basically changed it so you only lost half your stacks on death. And at that point, it actually became pretty gold efficient, even with like half stacks. So yeah, after a while, they basically said, fuck it, let's just get rid of it. And now you get the Zoom Orb and the Heartseeker you're used to today. Oh, look, see, you can buy, despite being magical, you can buy physical items there. Doesn't recommend them, but you
Alright,
can.
I'm gonna go. Let's see here.
All of these items are the exact same. Voidstone has changed a bit, but yeah, otherwise these are all like identical.
Damn it, she died. I don't know. I said I was leaving. I told her to be careful.
50 magical power that gave you. 50. 300 health and 2 health per stack. So that's 200 health plus 300. That's 500 health. And yeah, that's pretty insane.
I don't know what to say.
He's not happy with this need. He's not happy with this need at all.
Let's go beads as well. Okay, so that shouldn't happen. Let me briefly talk about this. And this isn't ragging on the players. Just speaking in generalities here, if you're in a lane solo, and especially like I called, I'm leaving. I told them I'm not here.
He's not
going
happy.
back. You gotta just play passive, because she was about midway through the lane and she just got hit by both of them, and
people still have not learned that lesson 8 years later.
missing calls like we just had. Enemy missing middle, so it's like, all right, well, I better be a little wary, right? I don't want to get taken here by surprise.
Oh.
Split up when those monkeys are bouncing, because if you're close to your ally, he's just gonna keep bouncing back and forth, and
Only
that's
twice.
annoying. Oh no.
There it is, the first Whirlpool Kraken.
Oh,
that was
man.
a bunch of weird effects. So that's Humbat sort of that Happy New Year thing. It's like the Chinese New Year, I think is the idea. And you heard the noise for beads as well. Bit spooky.
Oh man. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Neith's having a hard time here.
Also, I've just noticed you don't have a score anywhere. Like, at no point on the game can you see how your team is doing. No team gold, I don't think. You know what? You want to know that stuff? Fuck you.
Tried to help her out there.
Oh.
Where's everyone's ping? Well,
is he lagging?
it's not even so much the pings that we need. He called missing, so.
Literally nothing has changed. The more things change, the more they stay the same. There's the old school Agni model doing the old Swagni hop. That's the volcanic model that's still in game to this day. Voice actor perhaps won't be coming back for that one. So Agni was also a really strong pick at the time. The mid lane throughout the whole of like competitive Smite for the first like year or so of it existing, you just saw Agni versus Poseidon. That was like it. Maybe some ESET, as she's now known. You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, you basically just saw Agni versus Poseidon, and Agni was nuts back then because his dash was CC immune as well. Yeah, I don't think I need to go into much detail about why that's pretty strong. I think Kali is currently soloing the Gold Fury. Look, she is now level 15. She is now 6 levels up in 12 minutes on the rest of the lobby. I think Ymir's there level 11, and he's pretty farm. They've killed this Neith on cooldown, so yeah, she's 4 levels up on the next highest. Appears to have been a lane swap.
But
I love these old. Oh, there's the Gold Fury. Yeah. I love these old cools like Monkey Missing. We need to bring those back. Oh, the Neith gank. Did you just see that for a second there? I'm gonna try and catch it on the Agni dash. It's hard to see, but that is a golden CC immune Agni. What the fuck? Oh, doesn't miss a tidal surge.
I'm even thinking I might get some magic lifesteal. I think that could suit me well here.
Madman. Here comes the Kali gank.
We're still missing Monkey.
Oh.
All right, Kali, you ready for this?
Kali, the classic cricket player immortalizing Smite.
They pushed back in time. Gank failed.
Here she comes.
They pushed back, now they're just gonna retreat, you know? It's like... Unless they're stupid about this.
That's Kali, oh. That fucking noise, that lives rent-free in my mind.
You know? It's like... Unless they're stupid about this.
Towers under attack.
This is really dangerous and could be stupid.
Absolute mad lad. Agni sees him from a mile off.
So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to go for a gank on him.
This is high level game, so can't be catching Agni out like that. Oh, here he is. He's right behind you. Turn around. Probably could have killed both of them there.
Oh my lord.
This is what I miss, the wholesome, like, that was literally the most exciting thing that ever happened in Smite. You can hear it in his voice, he's like, fuck yeah. I miss that, I miss that moment.
Alright, well, let's get the rest of this. Just a couple of health potions. This game's been a little freaky here. Been slow pace so far. Our team's doing well overall. Kali is wrecking.
Hunter build, boots, Devo gloves, boots, Devo gloves. 8 years, nothing's changed. So this is what the old tab screen used to look like. You can see what people are building, all of this. Let's go through some old items. So tank boots into Magi's. So this was a very different item back then. It looked the same, still the bubble, but instead of absorbing one bit of crowd control, it instead absorbed a whole ability. So let's say you get Hebo ulted, but you have that up, it just passes straight over you. Or like a Rast knife, something like that. Yeah, a bit surreal. Although it did also mean that gods like Agni were really good because you could just put your one on top of them, instant cast, and it just pops their bubble. But it also means that, you know, you can totally immune like the strongest abilities in the game. This is old Heartseeker. So that's probably why Kali's snowballing so much here, because a stacked Heartseeker made you faster and basically gave you just so much power and was so cheap, so it got pretty out of control. Not sure about the third item Devos, but you know, who am I to argue? She's 5-0. Poseidon building boots into Bancross, literally you still see that today. Mark of the Vanguard, which was around for a very long time, just a tanky starter, and tank boots, yeah, pretty standard. This is what would eventually become Hide of the Urchin, but I'm pretty sure back then it was called Hide of the Leviathan, and nobody seemed to buy it, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it was generally pretty frowned upon, but yeah, here look, Sun Wukong building the classic Hunter build. There's Old Scorus Executioner, and Agni is building tier 2 of, I think these were called Midas boots, and they were basically the boots that tanks usually were supposed to build to give you loads of gold. They give you more gold per sort of tick, and yeah, supports built them to stay relevant, although both supports here haven't, and that's Old Kronos Pendant. That's one of the only icons here that's clearly different. It looks more like Benjamin's watch, which is a very obscure reference to anyone not in England. But yeah, that's what it used to look like.
I'm happy I've been staying alive at least. We've been close to a kill, I think at least once.
Electrifying stuff.
We do have enemies missing left. I just saw someone back there though. So
People apparently hated using abilities to clear waves.
Like my
I'm starting to notice.
Has a relative. Just keeping an eye on jungle, worried about incoming here.
This is what I mean though. Nowadays, you push a wave, there's so much to do, so much to think about, where people are, where you're going to go, all this kind of stuff. Back in these days, life was much more simple. You would push the wave and you would stand on their tower and you would just glare at them. Just glare, because you know what, fuck you, I'm going to keep you under tower. Will I get any buffs when I can just glare at you?
Here it is.
Oh, here's the monkey. I think that was a two-man stun you can see in the corner there. Stun. This guy's a beast.
Been using my ultimate defensively like this whole game. Oh man,
the Sun Wukong
there's
treatment.
the death.
That
yeah, our
death
lane's not
screen
doing so
awful.
hot.
So yeah, here you can see the other boots. Boots of Celerity. These weren't Midas boots. I was wrong. Midas boots must have been later then. Movement speed, move faster out of combat. So Talaria boots reborn. But yeah, Winged Wand, now known as Winged Blade. I miss it as Winged Wand, despite the fact that it sounds like a type of vibrator. You've got the Heartseeker. See, physical items, they were right there, front and center. So you can see how someone who's like, I need to build some movement, might see that and think, oh, stacks of physical power. That seems pretty good. Build on Poseidon. And then, yeah, this is old Fatalis that used to increase speed on successful basic attack hits. This became Hastened Fatalis, which is now Hastened Katana. Except you could build it on anyone. Poor Freya. Just a quick note on Freya back then. Freya used to be the only physical and magical god. She had a passive that converted magical power into physical power, but she could do both types of damage. So you'd often see Freya's build do Mob and Heartseeker. And if they died, they were basically useless. But if they didn't die, they would they would one-shot you. And they could build the old Fatalis back then. So yeah, shit got nasty. Just be thankful you haven't got Freya's critting you. That's all I'm going to say. The old towers look like fucking Eye of Sauron up there.
There was a right call as well, but I'm not really worried about him coming here quite yet.
You see, this is what I mean about old Smite. 17 minutes in, still all people are worried about are missing calls. Someone's been missing. Like, there's a bit of grouping going on. Kali is the only one who's like playing with a bit of sort of map flexibility. Everyone else is just sat in their lane.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Wow. Man, I wish I was at that action. Jeez.
Oh yeah, also, voice packs didn't exist at this time. Everyone had the same voice pack, the same classic one you still have now. Oh, you know how I said that magical people could build physical stuff? Well, the other one that you used to see, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this, was Frostbite Crit Ymir. Slap a Deathbringer on a Frostbite passive, and shit got real.
It's so nice. I'm in the most boring lane ever.
That is accurate. I was just yawning actually. I can't believe that this was the video that made me want to get into Smite. This is shit. And to speak more on how little people knew about this, I remember very clearly it wasn't until I'd seen my sort of 4th, 5th, 6th video that I noticed that you started at level 1 each game and then leveled up to level 20. I was like, well, why not just keep going at level 20? Start the next game at level 20. And I also used to think people were idiots because this is when I didn't play and just watched a bit. I thought, you know what, when I play, I'm going to, rather than wait to put a few points into my ultimate over the course of the game, I'm going to go point in my ultimate at level 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm just going to one-shot people with my ultimate. I thought I was, a big brain gamer, but yeah, just another cretin. See, Carly just died, lost her stack.
I need something to happen
this game
here.
is just so fucking boring. I agree. I fully agree. Something needs to happen. See that huge hand in the jungle?
Need something to happen.
I don't remember those.
Khalees seeing all the action.
There was red buff on his left he just passed, and here's the mid lane. Yeah, mid lane looks exactly the same.
Oh yeah, look at that. Killing all this creep wave. Most exciting thing that's happened this game. Alright, so they got one.
I have no idea
right
what
now.
this is down here. This 3. I wonder if anyone remembers.
No, push that back that far and that's it.
See, the buffs used to be in these little caves a lot of the time, and they used to come the whole way out. You used to leech them out to like here, or like there, because they would follow you a long ass way. Yeah, here they go. See, look how far they go. They just did not give a shit. I think here was kind of the limit, which is why he's holding it there. Oh my god, how long is it taking? This is what I mean about people having like no gold, no items. This is 20 minutes into the game, and he's just finished his boots and his first item. And he can't kill a red buff.
Over here.
Here's our first action.
There's the Kraken.
Nice sound effects on that. I think I just saw a med. Sobek med and Aegis.
Oh man. We're not even gonna get an assist here? Jeez. Sobek didn't die, so we got absolutely nothing out of that.
Now, this is another thing of my brain. I'm like digging up memories from a very deep hole, but I seem to remember him complaining that the Kraken doesn't do enough damage. I'll be really, really ashamed of myself if I'm correct about that.
Well, I'm going back and gonna get another item here.
What you can get?
Rod obviously seems good. Yeah, I like that big time for this god. Okay.
Yeah, get that Poly Poseidon going. Honestly, I'm not ragging on his build. This, on the general scheme of things, is one of the better builds because people were building, all sorts of stuff. There's Fire Giant Pit, that huge fuck off cave. Oh, here we go. Drop the whirlpool. That was like an actual Poseidon.
Yes. 20 minutes in, our lane, both sides were playing very passively, so there just wasn't a lot happening as a result.
How
of that.
was this the video?
You were there, you saw that.
Into this game.
Fully aware of all that.
20 minutes in, he just got his first kill. He's done about 10 player damage. Also, I want to point out that literally only this tower and this tower have gone. Oh no, mid have lost their towers as well, but this lane has been untouched 22 minutes into the game. Oh, Honor's here. Where did Honor come from?
You gotta wait when you're trying to gank. You gotta wait until they push
him and Neef look identical.
Like, they're standing right in front of a tower, and Nor coming in at that point does about as much good as you saw.
There's Carly soloing Gold Fury again. I'm pretty sure her one used to give a bit of lifesteal, or maybe because she got Devo Glass. I don't know.
I'm guessing that they've got reinforcements coming here.
That slap just absolutely clapped me. God, he's got more map awareness than most bronzies, man. See, this is what I mean. You push a wave, you stand on the edge of tower. That's just what you did in Smite. That was the whole game.
There it is.
Oh, look at this gang.
They obviously weren't just going to sit there by themselves that entire time.
Old Magi's?
Without calling for reinforcements.
Old Hades was busted at this time as well. Think about how strong Hades is in lane in a game where literally no one ever leaves lane. That's how good he was.
Or without their
he was a
team
Guardian back at this time. Wasn't a mage,
needed,
he was a Guardian.
I draw my ultimate, but it just wasn't really enough damage. Come on. Alright.
Let's go. 2 kills, baby.
Oh no. Comes Poseidon.
Oh no. Oh, the big Sobek pluck.
Some damage there, not nearly enough. He's dead.
Star player is down. Look at those old Sobek effects. Did you see that? That was his 3. He like hops up. He used to have really weird auto attack animations as well.
Damn it.
God, he really hates that monkey. Every time it's like, damn it.
Alright, well, we're going to finish this off here. And,
what's next?
Then go for some more magic damage in that.
God, it's insane how little those items have changed. Icons have changed.
And
general ideas have not.
Back up. Well, this has been a fun game. I mean, we have a couple kills here. Once again, unfortunately, I was sort of on the side lacking in action for a while.
That's one way of putting it.
So let me think here. If I open up with my 2 to get multiple hits and build up my thing here, like that, and then go for this right here.
Oh, theory crafting happening firsthand. It's just funny to think that people had never had these thoughts before, but do you see Neith? Do you see how Neith isn't attacking it? It's because she doesn't want to steal the last hit and take the buff from him. That's what you used to have to do.
What they're trying to go for. My basic attacks are horrendous. Jeez, I'm crow. Just so little damage. Alright, so we're going to group up here.
I like the gold effect.
Maybe attack speed would be good too. Maybe I'll get some attack speed here. To fill up my tide meter nice
I love those
quick.
big hands.
That would be
They're awesome. And the big fire giant pit. Oh, here we go. Here we go. There he is. Old fire giant. He's apparently hard difficulty.
Oh no. Get out of there, buddy.
Oh my lord.
Oh no!
Frame rate.
Run! Oh my lord, I'm alive? Ho ho ho! Oh, beautiful.
What just happened? Wait, let's go back.
Out of there, buddy.
I literally cannot even work out what's happening.
Oh no!
Look how far that tail whip sends him.
Oh
Look,
no!
He gets so big tail whipped here. He just goes cannon.
Run! Oh my lord, I'm alive? Ho ho ho! Oh, beautiful. Beautiful day. I definitely need to back up though. I was just dead in the water if I stayed there, so.
Dead in the water.
Okay, well,
Funny
we got
guy.
2 kills out of that. We only lost 1, so overall that worked out. We also got Fire Giant buff, so obviously that's good as well.
Just having a look at the items here, it appears the Deathbringer rush has begun.
Man, even laying down my Kraken in the middle of, I think there were 2 guys that got hit by that. Didn't get a kill. It feels like it's not. I mean, I'm not fully built up here yet either, so.
Yeah, it's only 27 minutes.
To do with it.
Oh, turn and burn.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, attack speed might be pretty good. Magical lifesteal could be nice too. They got 4 up. Oh, they are going to call the surrender. Okay, well, there you go, guys.
Gee, the monitor falling over dramatically.
Sorry, the early part of the game, there weren't a lot of kills or anything fancy like that going on.
Wait, was that Poseidon like AFKing in base? I think he might have been.
That's a good show of his abilities. Pretty cool god. I like him. Want to try some different builds.
Oh, here we are.
Some...
This is the old screen. So level 30 was as high as you got. Just look at it. Look at this. Wow. God, I know it looks different, but the amount of detail it took is exactly the same. But on this, you do actually get to see the Kraken I was on about and how fucking ugly this thing was.
Heavy damage. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.
Keep owning, kids. Oh, wait.
And as always, keep watching and keep owning.
There it is. That's what the Kraken used to look like. I don't want to think about it anymore. But look at this screen. Look at this. This is such a throwback. I'm just going to go quickly watch that Minotaur falling over
call
again.
Surrender. Okay.
Look at that. It looks really weird. It looks like it's made of clay.
Oh, they...
Like... Look at this big fucking throne room. There's old Artemis model, old Hades. Look at that. It looks like he's made out of butter.
Surrender. Okay.
And that has been a look at the very first thing of Smite that I ever saw 8 years ago, almost to the day. It is the March the 1st it was uploaded. It's March the 4th now. I struggled to see what I saw in the game. It looked fucking dreadful to me. I do kind of miss that cartoony art style though. I quite liked it. I'm not saying it looks bad now. Game looks a lot prettier now, obviously, but you know, it has its charm. Some stuff looks a bit odd. Like I'm not sure what's going on here. And the map was horribly unbalanced, like all over the place. But it had a lot of charm to it, a lot of nostalgia value. It's interesting to see how much has changed. Like you can't even see your own score, can't see the team score. These stats, I still don't know what this is. I think this might be Focus, but I don't even remember what Focus did. I just remember its name. But yeah, it's fair to say that this was big news at the time. Look, 762,000 views. This was really hyped at the time, and this was the sort of level of footage you were getting from people just play fucking anything. That was good enough to upload to YouTube back then. Surreal to think about. And look here, Duke Sloth. Can't believe this is the first one to show up on the Smite game. It's so old. That was 5 years ago. And look, people fucking... This is what I mean. This was really hyped at the time. People loved this. Look at this video from Adam Kemp. Watch this video. Tried out Smite. Wow. Went back to League of Legends. So much better. And people unironically used to write stuff like this. You do great video. Some people aren't happy. Man, Amit dropping truths right here. I also love that you still get comments like this. What game is this? If only you could see. But yeah, that was it. In a nice little nutshell, what got me into Smite back all those time ago. It is funny going through these old clips as well as Dry Bear's old stuff. It's just different world to what you used to today. Before you get the rose-tinted glasses on and say, oh, the game was so much better then. No, it wasn't. It was shit. It was fucking dreadful. But, you know, it was fun. It was definitely nostalgic. It was a simpler time, that's for sure. Simpler doesn't always mean better though, and frankly, if you played this game now, you'd play literally like 1 or 2 games before you wanted to shoot yourself and think, oh, why can't I see the score? Why can't I see my own score? Why are the items all so shit? So yeah, you know, rose-tinted glasses, but it's fun to go down memory lane every now and then. And I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.